Hey y'all, I'm Heather and welcome to my channel, The Debt Free Quilter. It is that time of year again, editing outside. It's nice out. It's nice and hot. The minions are home from school and driving me bonkers. So I will take this opportunity to escape for just a little bit and make some setting triangles. So let's get started. The first few triangles that I'm going to make are for the four corners. So the four corner units that will make up the inner part of the quilt top. Now, as I have mentioned in the past, I am not showing you very much, if any, cutting. So making these really isn't all that complicated. You just have to make sure you use the correct rectangles that are the correct size. Otherwise, you have to cut more. I was not happy. And now that we have those four corner setting triangles sewn, we're going to work on the side setting triangles. And this was about the point where I discovered I had to cut some more. I was not overly thrilled. The color combinations are beautiful though. Well, at least during this whole process of stacking and getting ready to chain stitch everything, I realized I only really needed to switch out two whole pieces because the colors were just too close to be able to really tell the difference. And I'm using that leader ender right there to tell me which pieces go on which side of this setting triangle. Stay steady, my friends. And now everything is getting pressed and put back where it goes in preparation for the next steps. Now we're making some more of the main unit in the main blocks because of course we have to make some more of those. And as always, as the units get larger, the less we have to trim between them. Now I'm adding the first of the two sides of the setting triangle that will turn it into a triangle. And pressing once again, trying to keep everything in the same order that I need it to be in so nobody gets confused, especially me. And now adding the second side to officially make this a triangle. Now also I'm making sure to trim off, there's a little dog ear that comes right in the center of the bias side, and I want that gone because it's actually going to be in my way. And now I will just trim off the other little dog ear that became once I set everything together and pressed it. Hi again! Now that we've finished those setting triangles, we're going to make the centers for the smaller 9-patch blocks that are in the sashing and in the outer border. So we're going to make the centers of those, and then I'm going to start with all the complicated process of making sure the rest of the pieces get made appropriately. Ready? Let's get to that. With these units, I'm working with about 5 colors at a time, and I'm only doing one color at a time out of those 5. So that's quite a lot of these units. But like I said, I'm doing the sashing and the outer border, all those units. I'm getting all of these done so that I don't have to worry about them in next week's video. I actually found it interesting that not every color was used in this particular step, and not every color is equally represented either. Interesting. This particular step also took quite a while, about an hour and a half total for me to piece all of these, because let's face it, this is tiny piecing. And tiny piecing means there's going to be a lot of volume. So there is going to be a lot of these individual pieces. Alright, y'all. We have now come to the end of this video, where I've shown you how to make a bunch of these. Just the centers, and there's a reason. Because I'm about to change thread color. Because the background is black, and all of these are fairly light colors, I pieced all of them with white. Just in case something happened, I didn't want a super dark color coming through a seam of a super bright block. So we have our setting triangles and our corner setting triangles. These came out really nice. And then we made all the centers that are going to go in the little 9 patches. Let me find the proper page. Here we go. All these centers in these little 9 patches. Because they are bright colors. And with the background being black, it's time to change to black thread. So I have made a butt ton of these. That's an actual measurement. You can look it up. But I am done for the night. So I'm gonna call it here. Y'all have a great day. Have a great week. Check back next week to see the progress on this. And we'll catch you in the next video. Bye.